Hey everybody, good morning. Happy Sunday. Got some football going on today. Not a lot actually because we already had 4 games earlier this week, but I want to talk a little bit about some Seahawks news. I took it a little easy. I pulled back a little bit on the Seahawks videos over the last couple days because obviously the losses they're starting to take their toll on a fan's mental state, and I can admit that I'm kind of feeling it. But more than that, it's not just losing games. It's not just like I'm sad that the team is disappointing me. The team isn't living up to my expectations, so on and so on and so forth. Um, it's not just that. It's this sense that nothing matters, and I'm feeling it from a lot of people who comment on my videos. I'm feeling it from a lot of people on my Discord. I'm feeling it from a lot of people out there. It's not just the losses. It's not just the bad play. It's this sense that none of it really matters. And if you're watching this video, I think you guys know what I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm kind of getting at here. There's just this like okay, this offseason's going to get here and we're going to fire Waldron, we're going to fire Hurt, we're going to cut Gino, and then we're going to bring in this coordinator and that coordinator and this quarterback, and like it's like, so what? Like that's kind of where I am right now. Like we're going to bring in some coordinators and they're not going to be that good either because they're working with Pete, and we're going to bring in a quarterback, and he's not going to be that good either because we're not going to have a good coordinator because of Pete, and the whole team's still going to be run by Pete more or less. And I don't think there's any way out with it. I got to be honest. I got to be real right now. So the things that I'm feeling right now are kind of like this little stuff, like the stuff I'm going to talk about in this video as it pertains to this Thursday's game against the Cowboys is like, who cares? Like, even if we beat the Cowboys on Thursday, who cares? That doesn't fix all our problems. That doesn't make everything better. That doesn't suddenly take away from the fact that we have these issues, and I don't know if there's anything that can happen that can clear it up. And, I'm sorry to have to express such a dour position, but I think it's the right position to have. So it's tough right now. But let's take a look. I do want to talk about a couple of things that we have been told by Pete Carroll in the last couple of days here. Usually, when we get news of significance, I kind of try to get right on it. But like I said, I just wasn't feeling it after that Niners game. There was a part of me, a big part of me, that was just like, well, okay, here's the latest from Pete Carroll, and who cares, right? Here's some good news about our players, but who cares? That's kind of how I was feeling. I still am, but it passes. And I do want to talk about this a little bit. So, two things really from Carroll. First, Woolen. Woolen is going to start against the Cowboys. Obviously, he was pulled early in that Niners game. He made it through like not even a quarter, and then he got sat on the bench. The narrative right now is that he got hurt. His shoulder got hurt. I'm gonna go ahead and just say right now, I don't buy it at all. That is a big load of crap, and I'm not buying it for 1 second. Pete Carroll is lying to protect his player from embarrassment, which I don't have a problem with him doing that. I don't. I don't think there's anything to gain from rubbing Tariq Woolen's nose in the fact that he's not playing well enough right now. But I just want to be clear. I don't believe that story that Pete gave us that, oh, he got hurt. So I think it's very clear actually from that game that he got benched because he wasn't tackling. And in that game, you have to tackle. In that Niners game especially, Shanahan is too smart. If he recognizes that you have a cornerback that can't tackle, he's going to start attacking that corner over and over and over again with tackling situations and figure, I'm going to get a bunch of free yards. I'm going to get a bunch of easy yards that I otherwise wouldn't get because this dude cannot tackle. So He did it. And Pete decided, you know what? I'm not going to let that happen. I'm not going to let that keep going. I'm not going to let Shanahan take advantage of it because it's too easy. I'm going to just pull him. I'm just going to put him on the bench and get somebody in there who can tackle. And Woolen's going to have to understand that if he doesn't tackle, he can't play. I got no I actually like that. I actually think that's the right thing to do. Like I said, a coach like Shanahan is not going to just let something like that go. He sees the weakness and he jumps all over it. He would have put Woolen in tackling situations with McCaffrey over and over and over again, and Woolen wouldn't have been able to hold up. Now, maybe Woolen's ability to tackle was a little bit hampered by an injury, but he's never been a good tackler ever. So I'm not really buying the narrative that this was just an injury situation. In fact, I'm pretty sure many people noted that when he was pulled out, if you looked on the sideline, there was nobody working on him. He wasn't getting any medical work done. He was just sitting on the bench. So, that being said, I want to be very clear about this. I'm still high on Woolen as a player. He just needs to start tackling. It's that simple. It's tackling is a matter of want to. Tackling is a matter of effort. Tackling is a matter of execution. And he doesn't ever have to be a great tackler, but he has to be an adequate tackler. And right now, he's not even close to that. He's an awful tackler. So I think he'll be fine eventually. But right now, this is an important part of his development as a player. And setting him out there to miss 10 tackles in a game the way he may have if we kept him out there is not going to help. So Woolen's going to be back out there on Thursday, excuse me, and he's going to have to show that he can improve in that area, or else he's going to get benched a lot more going forward. And this is something that can derail his career. Like, he's got a very bright future. He could be one of the best corners in the league, but if he can't tackle, then modern NFL offenses are going to exploit that. So those are my thoughts there. I completely approve of what Carroll did on Thursday with benching him. I don't believe he was hurt. I think that's protecting him. I think that's, again, you don't need to embarrass your player. Woolen knows that he sucks at tackling, and Woolen knows that's why he got benched. Pete doesn't feel the need to tell the whole world that, oh, Woolen sucks at tackling, so I benched him because he sucks at this thing. No. You don't need to do that. You know, the player knows, and you're good. The other bit of news that we got the other day, I think this was yesterday. Well, no, might have been 2 days ago, actually. Abe Lucas has a really good chance of playing against the Cowboys. Obviously, we'd feel better about it if it was a Sunday game and not a Thursday game, but looks like we might get Abe Lucas back, which is obviously cool, great news. The right tackle position was awful against the Niners. Forsythe and Peters were both completely useless in that game. Peters got hurt early, so that's kind of whatever, but Forsythe was a mess. So I'm really happy about Abe Lucas coming back potentially. This offense should be more tenable with him. This offense should be a little freed up to do the things they want to do. Is it going to solve everything? Of course not, but this is good news. And I don't think there's much more to say about it other than it is good news. Now, obviously, we need Abe Lucas to actually be better, but I feel like he probably is. This team has generally done a pretty good job of not allowing players to play when they're not in a condition to play. Now, I know the story I just talked about with Woolen kind of contradicts that, because the narrative they're trying to push is that, oh, he came into the game with a shoulder injury and we benched him after the first quarter because his injury made it so he couldn't tackle. But again, I don't believe that. I don't believe that he was injured. I believe he just couldn't tackle. So you look at the Seahawks history under Carroll, there have been some instances of us putting a player out there who had no business being out there. The big one is 2021. Wilson went in probably a month before he needed to go in to play football after he came back from his injury. He had 3 pretty bad games, and then he started to actually do some productive stuff. So probably went out there a little bit earlier than he should have. But that's a star quarterback situation. That's a do or die situation. You feel like the season's slipping away from you and you have to just shove your guy out there and hope he can cast a magic spell to bail you out. Like, I think that's a little bit different than a right tackle. And the other big instance off the top of my head would be Quentin Dunbar. We actually made him play in a game where he couldn't even run because his legs were so messed up, which that was just, I mean, I got no words for that. It's like our brains stopped working collectively for a couple of days there. But generally speaking, this doesn't seem like the kind of team that would put Abe Lucas out there if they thought he was in major risk of re-injury or that he wasn't ready to go. And I know some people are going to say we should just shut Abe Lucas down for the season because the season's shot anyway, but I do want to give him this opportunity to knock the rust off and see how he looks, because for all we know, we might need to make a decision in the offseason about that position. We might need to go into this offseason thinking, hey, right tackle's a problem. We need a good right tackle because Abe Lucas is not going to be dependable going forward. Like, if that's the case, we need to find that out as soon as possible. We can't wait until next year, because if we wait until next year, it's going to be too late to do anything about it until the year after. So yeah, Abe Lucas looks like he'll be back against the Cowboys. If not, then he's definitely got to be back for the Niners at that point. So that's cool. Either way, we're going to get to see Abe Lucas again. And hey, we still have a winning record. We're still here. We're still here in the playoff picture. I know that we as fans are down on things right now, justifiably so. But the team needs to keep grinding, and I'm sure they will. See you guys later. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think.